How many of you know that Moses and Abraham were friends of God?
How many of you know
that in the New Testament, John was a friend of God? See, there's always a closer place to Jesus than where you're at right now. How many know Jesus had the 70 that he laid hands on, anointed, and sent out? But he also had a closer group, which was the 12 disciples. But out of the 12 disciples, he also had 3 guys, Peter, James, and John, that got to see him on the Mount of Transfiguration.
But out of
the 3 guys, there was only one who stood strong and actually was there at his crucifixion, and that was John. And when they were in that upper room at the Last Supper, and Jesus declared that one of them had a devil, Peter looked at John and said, "You ask him who it is." Because they knew that John was the closest one to Jesus. He laid his head on his chest. See, I'm telling you, 2022, even with all the frustrations of corruption and control and persecution and all of these things, it is an opportunity to come closer to God than ever before. It's an opportunity to become a friend of the bridegroom. See, I love what John says in this scripture. Because really, what he's talking about is what intimacy looks like with God. In fact, if you look at this portion of scriptures, what happens is that all of these religious people come to John the Baptist. And they say, "Hey, did you know the one talking about Jesus that baptized, or the one that you baptize is baptizing more than you are?" They said, "What do you think about that?" And John the Baptist says one of the most brilliant things. He said, "A man can receive nothing but that which has been given to him from heaven." He said, "He who has the bride is the bridegroom. But the friend of the bridegroom who stands and hears him rejoices because of the bridegroom's voice." He says, "Therefore, this joy of mine is fulfilled." And I love it. He goes on and he says, "He must increase and I must decrease." Listen, when you're in a season and you feel like you're decreasing, you feel like doors are closed, You feel like your plans or your promises have been shut down.
သင်ရဲ့နော်အစီအစဉ်တွေဂတိတော်တွေပိတ်ဆို့ခြင်းခံရတယ်လို့ခံစားနေရလား
A lot of times it's in those seasons that Christ increases in your life as you decrease.
တော်တော်များများသောအချိန်တွေမှာအဲ့လိုမျိုးအချိန်မှာခရစ်တော်ဟာတိုးပွားလျက်ရှိတယ်သင်ကတော့ဆုပ်ယုပ်ခြင်းရှိမယ်ခရစ်တော်တိုးပွားလျက်ရှိတယ်
But see, John understood how it worked.
ယောဟန်ဟာကောင်းကောင်းနားလေတယ်ဒီရဘလို့အလုပ်လုပ်လဲဆိုတာ
These religious people were trying to stir up strife and they were trying to stir up fighting.
ဒီဘာသာရေးသမားတွေကစပြီးတော့လူတွေတယောက်နဲ့တယောက်ရန်တိုက်ပေးတဲ့အလုပ်ကိုလုပ်တယ်
But John knew that his job was only to prepare the way of the Lord for Jesus.
ဒါပေမဲ့ယောဟန်ကသိတယ်သူ့ရဲ့အလုပ်ကယေရှုလာမယ့်လမ်းကိုပြင်ပေးဖို့ရန်အတွက်ဖြစ်တယ်
And though he was behind the scenes now and Jesus had taken the limelight,
ဒီခုနော်နောက်ကွယ်ကနေအလုပ်လုပ်တဲ့နော်လူတွေကိုဘယ်သူကမှမမြင်တော့ယေရှုကိုပဲလူတွေကမြင်တော့တယ်
he was showing the heart of what a true intercessor looks like.
အဲ့ဒီခါမှာတကယ်ကိုစားပြုဆုတောင်းတဲ့လူတစ်ယောက်ရဲ့နှလုံးသားဘာလဲဆိုတာသင်ပေးတယ်
He must increase, I must decrease.
ထိုသခင်မူကားတိုးပွားခြင်းရှိပါစေငါမူကား
But then he said this, he said the bride is the grooms.
ဘာကြောင့်မို့လဲဆိုတော့သူတို့သမီးကိုရပိုင်သောသူကသူတို့သားယေရှုပဲဖြစ်တယ်
But the friends of the bridegroom rejoice because they hear his voice.
ဒါပေမဲ့သူတို့သားရဲ့မိတ်ဆွေတွေကတော့ထိုသူတို့သားရဲ့အတန်ကိုကြားရခြင်းအပြင်ဝမ်းမြောက်တယ်
How many know the true motive of Christianity?
ဘယ်နည်းအောင်သိလဲခရစ်ယာန်ရဲ့နှလုံးသားဟိုမှာစာငတ်တောင်းတတဲ့အရာဟာ
is not to draw all men onto yourself, but to draw them onto the bridegroom, being Jesus.
ကိုယ့်ကိုလူတွေမြင်လာအောင်လုပ်ဖို့ရန်အတွက်မဟုတ်ပါဘူးခရစ်တော်ထံကိုလူတွေမြင်လာအောင်လုပ်ဖို့ရန်အတွက်ဖြစ်တယ်
See, we get to rejoice in that we hear his voice and get to partner with him.
အဲ့ယေရှုခရစ်တော်ရဲ့ကြည်နော်တကယ်နှလုံးသားယေရှုရဲ့ဝမ်းမြောက်ခြင်းတောင်ကြားတဲ့အခါမှာကျွန်တော်တို့လည်းဝမ်းမြောက်မှာဖြစ်တယ်
See, every time you hear his voice and he does something,
ကျွန်တော်တို့ဟာယေရှုအလုပ်လုပ်တဲ့အရာတိုင်းမှာသူအလုပ်လုပ်တဲ့အတန်ကိုကြားတဲ့အခါမှာ
joy comes into your spirit.
ကျွန်တော်တို့နှလုံးသားထဲမှာဝမ်းမြောက်တယ်
See, and God's looking for those that would be friends in this season.
ဖခင်ကဒီကာလမှာဖခင်နဲ့မိတ်ဆွေဖွဲ့မဲ့လူတွေကိုရှာနေတယ်